Well, hi everyone. I'm Pamela Transue. Nice to be back at Tacoma Community College, where I spent a significant and very happy portion of my life. My focus in today's talk, these are two photographs that I took from the trip to Ethiopia. But my focus today is much broader than the art of Ethiopia, because it's a country in which art and nature and architecture and culture are deeply interfused. In the capital, Addis Ababa, you will find one of the largest outdoor markets in Africa, where recycling of metal and just about everything else you can imagine predominates. That's all recycled metal he's carrying on his head. It's not advancing. There we go. Okay. So let's go on to the next one. You all recognize the hippopotamus. Let's see if we can see the next one. There we go. This handmade canoe sat next to the shore of Lake Tana, and it struck me as a work of art in itself. It's all constructed of reeds, just bound together, and I think it's beautiful. According to Ethiopian history, the original Ark of the Covenant was kept on an island in Lake Tana, where this boat is located, for 800 years. And there was a Hebrew colony there long before the Christian Empire, as evidenced by stone monoliths on this little island that are carved in Hebrew. Okay. Okay. This seems a little out of order, but that's okay. Throughout Ethiopia, and you'll see a photo of a donkey soon, but donkeys are the primary form of transportation. You don't see many people riding roosters. Goats, sheep, and cows are also plentiful, and they all have the right-of-way on all the roads. So Ethiopia is a place where there are many more goats and donkeys than people, which I kind of like. Now, in Gondar, we visited the beautiful church called Debre Barhan Selassie. And inside a walled enclosure, the small church has wonderful paintings, including this saint riding a giant rooster, and then, these are the beautiful Ethiopian angels that are quite famous. You may have seen them before. I think there's another slide. Yeah, they're quite wonderful. And then the drums, which are these are drums that are used in the church services. And they are also, I think, really, really beautiful. King Fasilides built many of the structures in Gondar, including this ceremonial pool where the banyan trees have draped their roots. In the northern city of Lalibela, the 11 monolithic and semi-monolithic churches are unique in the world. This is a door that's in one of the churches, and I just thought it was wonderful, the way it's kind of askew and carved out of the rock. But let's go to the next slide. Okay. Imagine starting with just a plain old hilly landscape, and you start digging into it until the confines, or until the outlines of a church appear underground. You've just carved out this church underground. And then you have to carve out the interior. And that means also carving out the columns that are going to hold it up. There are 11 of these, and they have lasted for 800 years. And I don't know if you can see the people on the step, but that will give you some kind of sense of how large these churches are. They're really pretty good sized and very strange. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is actually over in the eastern part of Ethiopia, looking into Eritrea, off in the distance. Eastern Ethiopia is primarily Muslim, while the northern, central, and western regions of the country are primarily Ethiopian Orthodox Christian. And then the southern part of the country is primarily animist. So let's go on to the next. Oh, this is just a pretty picture of some succulents. Okay, let's go on. All right, here we are. This market in the city of Diradawa was a delight. One of the primary, well, you can see there are all kinds of produce. Ethiopia has long been known as the breadbasket of Africa. And if we go on to the next slide, this is one of the primary crops from Ethiopia, and it's called chat. And it's a stimulant, and people buy these stalks, and then they peel off the leaves and they chew the leaves. And our guide here, who is Muslim, said that for many Muslims it's kind of an alternative to alcohol. And that, but you know, as with all drugs, occasionally it is used to excess with unfortunate consequences. Okay, next slide. All right, Harar is a city also in the east, in the Muslim part of the country, and Emperor Haile Selassie grew up in Harar, and the French poet Rimbaud lived there for quite a while. The streets are fascinating. They're very colorful. Let's look at the next slide. The colors, you know, are, if it were dark in here, they'd be very vivid. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. You know, there's a picture here somewhere, we'll get to it, I think, of there are many men on the street who are seamsters. And they're like tailors. They can do anything, make anything, mend anything, and they're just out on the streets with their sewing machines. But this is Stewart in the house of the local imam, and he had a large collection of really beautiful handcrafted baskets and ceramics. Okay, we'll go on again. Here's the guy, one of the guys, who is out plying his trade. All right, again. Oh, here's the donkey I talked about earlier. Yeah, all right, they're so cute. And then the next slide, yeah, those are, well, out in the countryside, and it's pretty far out in the countryside, there's an area where for 5 generations, a family has been feeding wild hyenas. And they're really fascinating to see up close. They do actually have a laugh that sounds like a human laugh. And I did actually take a turn at feeding them, which was quite an experience. Okay, go on here. In southeast Ethiopia, Awash National Park is well worth a visit because you can see, and we'll go on here and I'll just show you some of the wildlife. There's a baboon, or this is a, let's see, I think that's a kudu, okay, Go on, and that's a go-away bird. And well hidden back there is a dik-dik, which is a little tiny deer, about the size of a medium-sized dog. And let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, that's a wild dog. Okay. Oh, this is the baboon. The other one was something else. Okay. And yeah, and then at nearby Lake Ziwe, you can see marabou storks. This is a marabou stork, and they're they're about this tall. They're really, really big. And okay, we'll go on here, and these are pelicans. Yeah, and here's the stork again. I'm not sure what this guy is. Keep going. This is called a Hammar, which is like a hammerhead bird. You can kind of see why. And, oh, that's a sacred ibis. Okay, and then I think there's a photo of, oh, that's the stork again. Let's go one more. All right, this is a tree with all these kind of hanging nests in it. Let's move on. And this is an Ethiopian starling, which I think is just a gorgeous bird. Okay, there are more than 50 tribes in Ethiopia, mostly in the south, and we visited 8 of them. So this is the Dorze tribe, and it's known for its beehive houses, and they live up at 8,000 feet. So it's very cold at night there, and for that reason, their animals live inside with the family, in the huts with the families. Oops, okay, go on here. Oh, I admired the tail of this monkey. Okay, here we are. Lake Chama, this is Lake Chama, and it's home to the savanna crocodile, which can reach 22 feet in length. Okay, keep going. Yeah, other wildlife is also abundant, and that's an Ethiopian eagle. Here's a heron, and okay. These boys of the Konso tribe, in addition to their skill on stilts, and they were wonderful to watch, they also demonstrate the body art that is unique to their tribe. Each of the many tribes maintains its own traditions of dress and body art, so that when you visit a marketplace where various tribes gather, you can easily determine a person's tribe. Okay? That's a hornbill. Okay, these women of the Mercy tribe wear striped woven cloth and use horns, beads, dried plant seeds, pods, and woven reeds in their dress. Many of these women wear large clay discs inserted into their lower lips. And you can see that here. Okay, keep going. She was really remarkable. Okay. Yeah, and the men have their own style too. Keep going here. We'll get to some men here in a minute. Yeah, here they are. But it's still, it's recognizably Mercy tribe. Okay? All right, let's see. This is the women of the Hammar tribe, and they use a red paste in their hair. It's actually a mineral that's mixed with butter, and it allows them to create these skeins of hair, sort of like cornrows, which they then cut into a kind of a cap-like shape, and I think it makes a very nice effect. And then they wear animal skins decorated with cowrie shells and beads with beautiful beaded necklaces and leg wraps too. I don't know if you can see those very well, but they're nice. This is Stewart, who's in a tribe of his own. Okay, keep going here.
Oh, I'm demonstrating a pillow. That was a stone pillow.
Oh, it was a stone pillow, right. Well, you can sleep. You can sleep anywhere. We know that. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, these are still oh gosh, I'm already, what is it? Let's see. Those are the, that's that same tribe. You can see they live in very kind of open area with courtyards. Everything's very clean and well swept. This is, yeah, again, the Hammar tribe. Okay. Okay. Wonderful looking little boy. Okay. Yeah, it's too bad this you can't really see. That's a termite's nest, and it's about, I would say, 12 feet high, and the little bird on top of it is just incredible. It's bright yellow and red and black and green and so on. It's just an amazing, amazing bird. Okay. And then the wildlife, this is guinea hen. And then, and here now we're at the Dasanch tribe, which is very remote and can only be reached by crossing a river. These are, yeah, keep going here. Okay, I thought we'd finish this part. I don't know what happened there. But you get a set. This is okay. Yeah, let's stop here. As you, I think, could see earlier on. Can we go back a little bit? Yeah, okay, now what I'm trying to get to go forward again then. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not, that last tribe is the Dasanch tribe. And they make these incredible hats, and that's where I didn't see the photo of the women wearing their hats, which are just amazing. So it's in here somewhere, but I can't find it. But they also wear animal skins and furs and shells and beads and ceramics. They put ceramics to really colorful use as well. Now, the village, this is a village of the Konso tribe, and it's composed of huts and fairly large common buildings that are all built inside a series of 3 concentric stone circles. So each tribe is just completely distinct in terms of the way their housing looks and in terms of the way they dress and their languages and traditions. It's truly amazing. Okay, next one. Oh, this is one of the livestock pens. And this is showing the animals having the right-of-way. And this young man is a herder. And then finally, I want to introduce you to Lucy, our common ancestor who roamed Ethiopia 3 million years ago. And these are her actual bones. So as you can see, Ethiopia is indeed a place of wonders. Any questions?
Do any of these tribes mix, or are they all pretty much independent of each other?
They're pretty independent of one another. Yeah, they have very strong traditions. Now, I believe there's some intermarriage, but then you would essentially give up your traditions and join.
What is the population of the tribes?
I don't know, Jack.
Maybe a couple hundred, or
Oh, you mean tribe by tribe? Yeah, probably 300 in a village, wouldn't you say? Yeah, about 300. And then, you know, the men tend to be out all day herding the animals. And, you know, the women are back doing their thing, you know, whatever it might be. Keeping things tidied up and making these incredible crafts, you know, it's just so, I don't think I've ever seen bottle caps used more impressively than they are in her hat.
and these are pretty much all in the southern area?
They're all, yeah, in the south, yeah, in southern Ethiopia. Most people think of Africa as being hot, but it's actually up on a plateau. So it's really not terribly hot. It's pretty livable. Oh,
Well, I was waiting to talk to you about this more. Welcome, you.
oh, hi. You got here just at the end.
How welcome were you made to feel?
We felt very welcome, you know, everywhere we went. It was, didn't know what to expect, but we just went, just the two of us, and then we went through an Ethiopian travel agency, which did a wonderful job, and we had a driver and a guide, and they took us everywhere, and we saw all kinds of things we could never have seen without having an Ethiopian guide, and he spoke good English, and it was amazingly reasonable in terms of cost, you know. So that was really nice too, because we got, you know, we stayed in nice accommodations, and you know, nice and, let's see, not like big hotels or something. These are more like thatched huts and things like that, but nicely done, clean and well appointed, and you know, nice. So.
And these tribes all depend on their own food sources internally?
Yeah. You know, the thing is, this is just not going to be around much longer, because these tribes in the southern part have, I mean, they have no connection with the rest of the world. They do not have running water or electricity or technology. They don't, you know, they don't have formal education. They don't have written language, and they don't have cell phones. So they really are disconnected. But you know, in this, you know, that's not going to last much longer. So things will be gained as a result, and things will be lost. The culture will not survive. Well, I don't think we'll survive that well, you know. So.
Do they interact? The tribes interact at all together?
Yeah, they do at markets. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you wander around a market, you can say, oh, there's somebody from this tribe, or there's somebody from that tribe. You know, you can tell.
And do they have their own dialect, or how?
Yeah, they have their own dialects.
So how do they communicate with you?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's something that's evolved over centuries. You know, they've been there a long time.
I apologize if you already answered something similar,
It's
but
okay.
two questions. One, what's something you thought you knew that maybe you realized wasn't completely accurate before you went to Ethiopia? And then what's something that you didn't know that you now regret all this you know?
Oh, wow. Thought I knew. beforehand. I don't know, can you think of anything that was kind of an assumption? You know, look, I think it's maybe better to respond this way, that the reason I like to travel to unusual places is that I like to test my stereotypes. And usually they get shattered. And I think that, you know, that happens a lot in a place like Ethiopia. You know, you assume that something will probably be one way, and then it's not. It's really different. I just had no idea how the people in the South lived. I was stunned by the architecture of northern Ethiopia and by the fact that the Muslims and the Christians and the animists have all really gotten along just fine for centuries. And you know, there's a big Jewish population too, although they were kind of forced out at one point was it by the emperor? Yeah. Yeah, but there's a long Jewish and Hebrew tradition that goes back over 1,000 years.
Talk about the Queen of Sheba. She's Ethiopian. And the other thing that I was astonished by, we were in one of the Islamic towns, and the clerk to the local imam was there in the house, and we went over and started talking to him. And he was very tall and slender with big ears, and he looked astonishingly like Barack Obama. And so because I tend to blurt things out with no filters, I said, you look exactly like our President Barack Obama. And he was so happy, he kissed me on both cheeks, he hugged me, and just thanked me and thanked me. And, if I would have said that he looked like Trump, I don't think I would have said.
Yeah, well, as you can see, it was a really, really interesting trip. And so I'm glad you all came today to hear something about it.